welcome to Taje Astrology. It's time for a little astrology gossip. Let's take a look at these celebrities' astrological placements to see what they're really like behind closed doors and take a look at the energy that's around them. Yeah, we gonna be all up in their business, but keep in mind that all readings are for entertainment purposes only. So you ready? Let's go. What's up, good people?
What's up? What's up? Salute, salute, good people. Hope all is well with you all. Hope everyone is doing good. All right. So I've been away, but I'm back. I'm back. I had to get in on this Sean Puffy Combs because Brother Man is doing the absolute most. All right. So today we're going to take a look at Mr. Combs. So let's pull him up right now. All right, all right, all right. And like I said, man, this dude, he been doing the absolute most, right? And you know that since we're in the age of Aquarius, the age of karma, the age of retribution, the reckoning, the big revealing, Brother Man is definitely feeling the wrath, right? So let's go ahead. Let's take a look at Mr. Combs. He's born November 4th, 1969, in New York, New York. Now, we don't have a time of birth, so that prevents us from knowing what sign was on the horizon. We don't know his rising sign, and we can pretty much guess about all of what he's been doing, right? And then we won't know what houses the signs are in, but we will definitely be able to have a really good look into the psyche and the personality of Mr. Combs if we don't already know, right? But I will say this, all right? He is one of the most toxic Scorpio charts that I have ever seen. That I have ever seen. I mean, you got to take a breath on this. And I had said, jokingly when I pulled up his chart before that everything they say he did, he probably did it. Right now, we know that the birth charts contains a lot of information, and this will probably be one of many parts that we'll be doing because this is going to last a while. All right, so I'm going to touch on some main highlights to see what is up and just take a look and see what's going on with Mr. Puff Daddy Combs. Now, to give just a brief history, all right, we know that he's called Puff Daddy because when he was little, it is said, allegedly, that when he was little and he would get mad, he would puff up and had all this anger, right? And I'm telling you, the charts don't lie. All right. Now, we'll take a look first at his natal placements. Now, keep in mind that the natal placements, they never change, right? They're a snapshot of the planets and their placements and how they interact with each other, right? So that never changes. Now, that's not saying that you don't have the ability to change because we have free will, right? Even though we may have challenging aspects, that challenge who we are as people, that doesn't mean that we can't change. Once you're made aware of that, then you can make the changes and you can grow from that, right? As well as you have the option to function in your lower self, right? And when I see Puffy's chart, that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing that he is just making the choice to function at his lower self. So let's take a look. Now, of course, the sun is in Scorpio, right? And you know what? As a Scorpio, we're not claiming him, right? We're not claiming this toxic male Scorpio, right? But this Scorpio represents sex, death, rebirth, transformation, and secrets, right? And I think anyone who's ever dealt with a Scorpio knows that to be true. Now, taking into consideration the rest of his birth chart, I believe this is the reason why he changed his name so many times, right? I believe that he recognizes his demons and he attempts to transform them from a lower state, right? That transformation. He brings about a death to himself, right? So what? He changes his name. He's had plenty of AKAs, right? But then he tends to go right back into that deep, darker depths, right? And what do we see? Sexual exploits, right? And we'll talk about a little bit more about that a little bit later, right? So that's Scorpio as I see it in his chart because all Scorpios are not treated the same. We all have our different aspects, right? And that's why you may see one Scorpio that moves this way, you may see another Scorpio that moves another way because we are an accumulation of our signs. We have different placements, different aspects, we have different realities. No two birth charts are the same, right? Right. So he also has moon in Virgo, right? So the moon is emotions, feelings, it represents the mother and feminine energy, right? Virgo is very particular, very critical, and can be demanding, nitpicky on how he likes things to go and to be. Now, as we have heard, he is very particular about how he likes his women to present themselves, right? We heard about the white nails, right? That he required Cassie to wear, but also seeing that his mother has those same white nails. Now that's a little disturbing, but we're not even going to talk about that today because we got a lot more disturbing stuff to talk about, right? Now, his Mercury is in Scorpio as well, right? So that's going to indicate direct conversations, words, because we know the words that we speak, they can bring death, transformation, good or bad, right? And with this placement, there can be a tendency to default to very sexual conversations, right? At Mercury and Scorpio. Now, in his house of Libra, now Libra is a sign of relationships. So relationships and partnerships are very, very important to him. Now, in that sign, in that house of Libra, he has Venus. Now, Venus is a sign of love and represents women. Venus is represents love language, the finer things in life, very sensual, very sexual, expensive taste, very extravagant ways, right? Also in that house of Libra is Jupiter. Now Jupiter expands everything that it touches, right? It wants more and more and more, big, extravagant excess, right? Now, Jupiter and Venus are conjunct, which means they're right next to each other. So he wants the beautiful women. He wants the finer things in life. He wants that which brings him pleasure. Now, also in the house of Libra, in the house of relationships, there's Uranus. Now, Uranus brings about unexpected surprises, right? It expresses power through partnerships. Now, mind you, this is in the sign in the house of partnerships, right? He has unconventional lovers, which can be strange and exotic taste. And with Uranus, it could definitely be weird and different. This is everything that we're hearing. This is everything that we are seeing. Now, let's take a look at some opposing energies within his chart that he has natally. All right, now we'll take a look at some opposing energies that's coming in later. Right now, let's look at his natal opposing energy. Right now, we all have opposing energies within our charts, right? And it requires balance, compromise, and integrity. And typically, we tend to project this energy onto others, even though it's in our something that we have to master. We tend to project it onto others, right? So he has his sun is opposing Saturn. The sun represents self, who we are, how we present ourselves, right? And with the sun opposing Saturn, there's a lack of discipline, structure towards oneself, and expects a certain amount of discipline from others, right? So even though he may lack discipline and structure, he requires that of the people that's within his life, right? A certain amount of discipline pertaining to him, right? He also had Mercury opposing Saturn, right? Saturn is going to speak with authority and power, all right? Very parental like, very authoritative like. He loves to give instructions, rules, and demands. Now, what's very interesting is that there he also has Mars opposing Lilith, right? And that's in the house of Cancer. Now, Cancer is ruled by the moon. It represents the feminine energy, emotions, and feelings. Now, this creates a dynamic tension between assertive, disciplined action and raw, primal, emotional energy, right? Mars represents action, drive, passion, and aggression. And then Lilith, or Black Moon Lilith, represents the wild, untamed feminine, our shadow self, and the rejection of social norms, especially around emotion and sexual expression. When Mars is in Capricorn, it opposes Lilith in Cancer. It creates a push pull between action and control versus emotional expression and rebellion. Now, check this out: power struggles in intimate relationships, especially around the home, family, and nurturing roles. Now, Mars in Capricorn may seek to control and or dominate. Now, while Lilith, that's in his Cancer, might resist this through emotional intensity or defiance, right? Now, he also has Uranus opposing Chiron. Now, this drives for freedom and change, Uranus, and the need to address deep wounds and vulnerabilities. Now, we know that Chiron represents the wounded healer, and it is said wherever Chiron is at in your chart, the degrees that it represents when that wound first took place, or when the damage, or whenever that devastation, that wound that won't heal, took place. And we can see that Chiron is at 3 degrees. Let's see, where's at 3 degrees in his Aries chart, or his Aries house. Now, that means that whatever wound that he was exposed to, or uh, was a part of his life, took place around the age of 3. Now, he also has Pluto opposing Chiron, right? In his house of Aries, right? So he faces deep wounds for transformation. Again, remember what I said earlier. He tries to heal, but he goes right back into that lower self, right? So Pluto opposing Chiron in the house of Aries, there's power struggle in healing self. Now, transformation through pain is available. It's right there. He has that if he was able to tap in, right? That signifies that healing is required to complete a transformation. Pluto urges you to embrace the death, the old part of yourself, outdated beliefs, toxic relationship, harmful habits, and be reborn stronger. And I believe that's what he attempts to do. However, this process can feel intense and overwhelming, and it may involve letting go of deeply ingrained aspects of your identity that are tied to your wounds. So something in him is preventing him, which is probably himself, from healing, from being transformed through his pain, right? Now, Pluto's association with power also means that this aspect might bring up old wounds around issues controlling dominance, uh, and powerlessness. So, in his womb, he feels powerless. So, what does he do? He gets that power, or asserts that power over others, right? And we also know how he feels about betrayal, right? We can take a look at the whole Biggie Small situation, or anyone he feels that betrays him It takes him back to that childhood wound, whatever that is. We don't know what it is. Now, he also has Neptune opposing Al Gore. Now, Al Gore is a very vicious, very violent star, right? Now, with this opposing energy, it intensifies emotions and desires. Now, Neptune in Scorpio, that's where it at, brings heightening emotional intensity. And when opposed by Al Gore, this could unleash powerful primal feelings that are difficult to control. There may be a tendency to express extremes, idealistic dreams or illusions, Neptune, contrast with darker, more possessive, and even destruction emotions of Al Gore. Al Gore represents decapitation, all right? Let's just put it out there. Now, Neptune can create illusions. When in opposition to Al Gore, it may indicate a struggle to reconcile fantasies or ideals with harsh, possibly painful realities, right? So when he's in his natural sober state, he's in pain, right? And instead of transforming that into being a better person, he wallows in that and marinates in it, if you would. This aspect could reveal areas of your life where he's been deluding himself, especially around relationships, power dynamics, concerns, and force you to face uncomfortable truths. And I'm telling you, it's hard. He tries, but it's hard because he doesn't truly want to heal. It's like part of what he do, but he enjoys that control and power and dominance over people, right? Neptune also is a planet of escapism, often by using drugs. Now, we know that people that have strong Neptune placements often use drugs or other forms like alcohol, what have you, to escape, right? He uses that to escape the pain, but then he also asserts certain dominance and control while he's in this state of mind. All right. Now, this aspect might trigger fears, being consumed by emotions, and loses touch with reality. All right. Now, with this, there's also struggles for power and control. Now, Scorpio is associated with power, transformation, control, like I said before, and Neptune's influence can blur boundaries. When you have a negative placing Neptune, the boundaries are blurred. There's no boundaries. You just do whatever you want to do. And with that, it makes it hard to maintain a clear sense of power because it's just anything goes. And what we're hearing more and more and more is that with this toxic Scorpio, there's no boundaries. There's no boundaries. And when you add in the influences of drugs and alcohol and all that, that makes it even more. We all know that drugs and alcohol removes boundaries and it makes you uninhibited. You just do whatever you need to do. Right? Now, when I took a look at his solar return a year ahead, this is the incoming energies. Now, stay with me here. We have Pluto opposing Mars, all right? Both at very critical degrees. We have Mercury opposing Uranus, all right? Now, what does this mean? Things are about to explode, as we've seen, right? Who he is and what he is. We see that more and more of it is becoming exposed, right? Things that he has said and done, we can expect more tower moments. They're coming and they're going for his head, money, and the power that he had over people, right? Now, picture with me a square because he has a grand square, and squares are very, very difficult energies, right? So picture this a square. Pluto is squaring Chiron, the wounded healer. Chiron is squaring Mars, aggression, power. Mars is squaring Juno. Juno represents relationships, right? And this is touching his Libra and Scorpio houses. Libra is relationships, Scorpio is transformation. Juno is squaring right back up to Pluto, right? And Pluto brings about revelations, secrets, transformation. So, what does this mean? He is going to have to face not only his wounds, but the wounds that he has caused to the women in his life. Major relationships, whether with men or women, as well as relationships that he shares power with, right? Pluto will be revealing all of his dirty secrets as well as the people that are close to him. I think we know that. Now, the transits that are coming in, now peep this out. In his relationship house, Libra, all right, we have Uranus, Jupiter, and Venus. All right, now what's coming in, that south node. The south node talks about the past, Mercury, spicy conversations. I believe he's going to tell it all. We will see, but they already said he's going to take the stand. A few months back, he was already threatening people, right? So I think it's all coming out. Now, sun is in there. That is shining light on all the surrounding energies that's around him. You got Lilith in place, right? That's that feminine energy. That's that rebellion. The women that he has offended, assaulted, they're standing up, right? And they're ready to fight. They're ready to fight against the energies that he has brought about to them, right? And of course, we have Juno that's bringing out all partnerships, right? All sense of loyalties. All of that is up in flames. It's up in flames. Now, in his house of transformations, death, sex, right? He has Mercury, Sun, Neptune. That's transiting, that's Venus, everything he loves, everything that brings him pleasure. Sensual sexual appetites is being exposed and transformed, right? Y'all, whew, this is far from being over. Now, yesterday, they released that 120 more cases have popped up and they got a hotline. This is far from being over. And some included minors. I heard the youngest was like 9 at the time. Not surprised because he was hurt at a very, very young age. So all I'm gonna say is, man, buckle up, buttercup. This is going to be wow. And what is especially going to be wow are some of the those that are associated in this whole situation. Remember, we're in the age of Aquarius, the age of karma. So all are going to be revealed. And this is whether it's celebrities or not. There's no hiding. There's no hiding with this. You know, we're all in the age of Aquarius, not just him. We are all. You know, we go back to Cat Williams. Cat Williams said it's all going to be being revealed, and we see that taking place in real time. There's no hiding. So that's it for now. I'll be back with more from Mr. Puffy Combs because it ain't over, right? And I'll also be pulling up other celebrity charts to see what's going on with them because we nosy. We nosy like that. So if you would like to have me to pull a chart for a particular celebrity, you know, you want me to do a particular celebrity read, just drop a comment below, right? If you would like this, if you like this video, hit the thumbs up button, all right? Share it with your peeps because, like I said, it is far from over, right? And tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think is going to happen in this situation. Right? Because, like I said, definitely is not over. Leave a comment below. Uh, Share your opinion because this is gonna be a wild, wild ride. So until next time, salute, salute. Talk with you all later.